project, quite interesting project. I was a member of the team that looked at various issues that came up during its implementation. I also became the resident engineer actually wrapped up that project. So I think it's opportune for me to share with all of us the experiences and observations that I made on the project. So my presentation starts with the outline, which gives the background of the project, the background of the entire WATEP, RTEP, and then the TSP. These are three key projects that the World Bank supported the Ministry of Roads and Highways, and for that reason, Ghana Highway Authority, to execute. So we'll give a brief background of the projects. Then we will look at the contract data for the project in question, the AYAMFURI ASAWINSO project. We'll look at the project implementation. We'll also look at the cost, the agreed timeline, the contract cost per agreed timeline. And also we'll look at the cost to date. Then the RAP implementation plan and its effects on cost and time. We'll look at the cost of additional delays. Then we'll have a comparison of additional cost to cost of delays. And we would also have something on lessons and recommendations I put down on the project. So the background, start with the World Bank, like I said earlier, came in to support the government of Ghana, and for that reason, the Ministry of Roads and Highways. Following the civil war in Cote d'Ivoire, it was around the early 2000s, somewhere 2005, 2006. And because of the conflict that was raging, the civil war in Cote d'Ivoire, I believe most of us would remember. The landlocked neighbors of ours, and I mean Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, and the rest of them, they used to do a lot of business at the port at Ivory Coast. But because of the conflict, they could not easily access the port, and so actually they were attacked each time they tried to get to the port at Cote d'Ivoire. So they switched business to the Tema port in Ghana, and so that brought a lot of stress and traffic to our road, especially the central corridor from the north all the way down through the N10 to also connecting the N6 to, through Kumasi all the way to Tema. And so the government found it necessary to look for assistance from the World Bank to help us strengthen the pavements, especially the the central corridor one, like I mentioned. And then later on, they brought in the Abidjan-Lagos project, and then finally the transport sector project. The total length of roads that was tackled under this program was around 265 kilometers. The WATEP, that is the West Africa Trade and Transit Facilitation project, actually has a project objective to improve access by Burkina Faso and Mali to Ghana, as well as improve port operations and facilitate the efficient movement of traffic along the Tema. The project, as I said, is the West Africa Transport and Transit Facilitation Project, that's shortened as WATEP by the World Bank. The key road that was undertaken by the Ghana Highway Authority under this project was the rehabilitation and pavement strengthening of the Bupe Tamale Road. The tar road stretch that was looked at is of a little over 103 kilometers. The project started on the 18th of April 2011. Originally supposed to be, I think, 2 years, but was actually completed 29th of April 2014. So it took a little over 3 years to finish the project. I'll not go into additional information. I'll move straight to the Abidjan-Lagos project. The Abidjan-Lagos Trade and Transit Facilitation Project, shortened as ALTEP, also World Bank funded project. The objective was to reduce trade and transport barriers in the ports and on the roads along the Abidjan-Lagos corridor, i.e. Ghana, Togo, Benin. Actually, starts from Nigeria and ends in what you call Cote d'Ivoire. That is our stretch, our section. And then the key road that was looked at under that project was the rehabilitation of Aguna Junction Elibo Road. The entire length is 110 kilometers, was in 3 lots. First lot, 30 kilometers, second lot was 50, and then the last lot was another 30. So all add up to 110 kilometers. It started, the works, as in the section or the category that GHA undertook, started the 9th of January 2013. Lot 1 and 2 completed, substantial completion, 11th of January 2017. And then lot 3, that was completed much earlier. That was actually 13th of April 2016. So now we would go on to our project of interest, the TSP. And that project is where we have our subject issue. So the TSP had so many components, A to G. GHA, the key or flagship project that GHA undertook under the TSP was the rehabilitation of AYAMFURI to ASAWINSO Road, and was under component C of the project. The length of that project was 52.2 kilometers, and it was implemented in 2 lots. The first lot 1, 26 kilometers long, and lot 2, 26.2 kilometers long. The works contract, as I said, was in 2 lots. The lot 1 was executed by a Chinese company. The name is China Jiangxi Corporation for International Economic and Technical Cooperation. That is we shorten it as CJIC. So they did the first lot, which starts from AYAMFURI roundabout the junction all the way to New Obuasi, passing some of the key towns as Denchira, Obuasi, and the rest of them. So that's where it ends. Then lot 2, which is the more rural section of this 2 lots, is the New Obuasi to ASAWINSO end. And ASAWINSO connects the road that goes back to Bibiani, etc. And that was done by the China Railway Number 5 Engineering Ghana Limited. So the scope of works was to improve the alignment at poor sections. The road was quite narrow in some of the sections, especially the rural section. When I say the rural section, I am talking of or referring to the lot 2, which is the New Obuasi ASAWINSO end. So there was need for widening of that stretch. And also reconstruction of the base to give the road the needed strength. And also widening of culverts and drains, provision of lay-bys, bars, bays, etc., and also installation of road signs, marking, etc., and necessary traffic devices. The design speed was 100 kilometers per hour. So that gives the, yes, so this is the location of the project. From, if you see my map, the section from roundabout, that is at the AYAMFURI, all the way to ASAWINSO. You see, I have the map starts from Takwa all the way from down, from the bottom part of it, from Takwa all the way to AYAMFURI. So that is a different project that was done by another, but the one we are discussing is the one from AYAMFURI, which is near Dunkoa Onofin, all the way to ASAWINSO. So, like I said, from the first section is AYAMFURI to New Obuasi, and then the second section is from New Obuasi through Diasu, etc., to ASAWINSO. So that is the location. Now, I would also say that the first section is in Central Region. That's all the way to, I think, New Obuasi, a little beyond, is in Central Region. Then the remaining section now used to be in the Western Region, but I'm sure now it's in the Western North, all the way to ASAWINSO. Right, so now on the contract data, the project was funded, as I said, by the World Bank, the employer, the Ministry of Roads and Highways. The engineer was the chief executive, the contractor for Lot 1, China Jiangxi, CJIC. I have highlighted in red the bid submitted date. So I would like us to take note of this. The bids were submitted on the 25th of January 2011. Letters of acceptance were issued on the 26th of September 2012. And some renegotiations were held. No objection from the bank was received on the 9th of December 2012. And actually, the works were signed 21st December 2012. So not too bad so far in terms of time spent. January 2011 to December 2012. I think it's a long time, but we are going on. Then the pre-commencement was on 17 January 2013. And then the site possession, and it is written partly in bracket, 23rd January 2013. The works contract sum was 13 million cedis and 20 million US. And then the commencement date was 2nd May 2013. So that also is highlighted in red. And you will see that from 2011, where 25th January 2011, where bids were submitted, as in 2013. Such a long time. So already your price fluctuation mechanism kicked in, and you have so much already money which is, floating because you have not started the work. And then it was originally expected to be completed on the 1st of May 2015. And we had a revised completion date after this 1st May 2017, but I think it was actually completed a little beyond that. I would get to that later on. Time of completion originally 24 months. The first liability, 1 year as usual, the length, and then the other details are there. Now follow 2. It's almost the same thing. And we have the contract, the figures follow 2, was more in CD than in dollars, 29 million CD and $8 million thereabout. He also started the same date, he also started the same date and everything. We had almost the same information. So the completion here was another story. That's where we'll be. Okay. So now we'll come to project implementation. So on project implementation, I would like us to take note of certain things that really affected our project smooth implementation. And it's got to do with, first of all, the delays that came up during the field census in the assessment of properties to be impacted by the works. So the LVD, that is the Land Valuation the Department of the Lands Commission, they are mandated under the law to give the values, the final values. But our organization, Ghana Authority, we have an in-house valuation section that can also do the work. But they work in tandem very closely with the land valuation people. So in the course of execution of this work, normally what we have done before this project was that GHA valuation guys would come to the project, invite the LVB person in the region concerned, and they will just join us and we'll do the field census. And then we'll come up with one data. And then that's what now the LVD takes it back to go and finalize and bring back the figures that would have to be, paid out as compensation. We would have, because we did the exercise together, we would have the information as well, but we cannot firmly, we will not be in a position to say that truly these are the figures, because unless the LVD people bring us their final confirmed figures. So we not normally do so and pay part of the compensation whilst we wait for LVD to bring the confirmed figures, then we will do the remaining part. But in this particular project, a very interesting thing happened. LVD said they were mandated under the law to do the exercise. So they will do it. And with DHA, we just to sit back and allow them to do it. And to our surprise, it took a long time. I think they had a few challenges with logistics here and there, but it took a long time for them to actually finalize the report. So that really impacted the project duration. And that is why you'd realize that the site possession was partly given somewhere in 2012, but commencement was in 2013. Because at the time, the bank's rules were that unless you have completed the RAP, you cannot issue commencement. So it was a big task. So the contractor was on site. They have started some skirmishes here and there, finished setting up their camp and all that. But we could not say that this is the date for commencement of works. So we were there for quite a while before the commencement actually came somewhere later. Also, the other issue that impacted the project was the lack of funds. to pay the compensation for the assessed properties. You know, when the values are finally out from the land valuation people, it is given as offer to the PAPs, the project affected persons, their farms, their houses, everything that, you know, they are made offers with those figures. Some of them, you know, and it's their right to say we don't accept this, it is too small, etc. And once that happens, then they are required to find their own valuer to bring out their own valuation of what their property is and how much they think they are due. And it goes through another process. And when there is no understanding, you can even end up in court for you know, the judge to decide that, okay, it's enough, you can pay him X or Y, that kind of thing. And to add more problems, the government also didn't have the money to pay. The values are in, the PAPs are there, the contractors are on the ground. We started with some clearing at places where there is not much, but we need to pay compensation to, especially these farms and all this, but there wasn't money. So that was another issue that really hit the project. There was also increase in the scope of works, you know, earthworks, pavement, drainage, and some concrete works. That also came up and also affected the project implementation. And there were also disruptions of contractors' work program by the communities demanding payment of their delayed compensation. So you realize that the project was actually under a heavy barrage of issues. And Mr. Chair, Mr. T, if you give your permission, I would like to end my first part of the presentation at this place. And then hopefully next week, with your permission, we'll take it from here to now go into the actual, these issues that I've outlined and their impact in terms of the cost, in terms of the delay that came up as a result of these and its cost to the project.